need to know how to work with other people. You need to make sure that you're able to effectively work with others and cooperate with them. We had a round where it was a facilitation round, and basically we had to kind of create a workshop, and nominating committee watched us create our workshop, and the whole time they paid attention to respectfulness of ideas, who was open-minded, who offered ideas, who was willing to do what. They paid attention to the organization of everything. An important part of the facilitation round was just them watching how you cooperated with other people. You're on a team. You're being selected to be on a team. This means that your association or your area is not led by one person for a reason. You have to have a team of people. So keep that in mind as you practice and as you study and everything, that you're on a team with others. So make sure that you're well-rounded and that you don't cause drama and that you're very open to different things whenever it comes to being in a facilitation setting. So like I said, you need to know who you are and know where you stand on issues, but make sure that whenever it comes to facilitation and to working with other people, that you're able to do this in a good manner. So if somebody says something that you don't agree with, you don't have to shoot them down. You don't have to boss people around. You're supposed to be a leader. You're not supposed to be dominant, if you know what I mean. You need to be able to say, well, I like this idea, okay, but always be positive about what somebody else has to offer, because they're just trying to help. And remember, you're going to be on a team with others. So you always need to make sure that you can cooperate and that you respect other people's ideas. Think of different questions that nominating committee is going to ask you. You need to think of personal questions that they might ask you, like the things that you're involved in, like the clubs and organizations that you participate in, what you've done throughout high school, where you plan to go to college. You need to be very familiar with the types of questions that they would ask. Write down a list of questions that they might ask. Personal questions, ag questions, how you would react in certain situations. They may give you a scenario. For example, they might say, how would you handle an FFA member being picked on by another FFA member? What would you do in this situation? How would you react? Well, whenever you think of different scenarios like that, it helps you, because normally they'll ask you how you would handle certain situations, because you're going to be dealing with issues that are pretty touchy sometimes. You're going to be dealing with, different situations that you're not comfortable with. And for a situation like that, you would say, well, I would tell my executive secretary or my advisor, who would tell that child's advisor, who would later tell the parents, things like that. You need to think outside of the box on questions and think about how you can improve your association, or how you can improve your district or area or FFA chapter. Always think of ways of improvement, because you never want to step into an office not seeing things that you can't improve. You always want to have some kind of vision, and you want to give them that vision. You want to be able to tell them what you see. So that brings me to my next, definitely really important part. You need to have public speaking skills. And whenever you are trying to develop your public speaking skills, just take into consideration all of the critique that they have for you. Over the years, I've participated in, I've done prepared public speaking for 2 years. I did Creed speaking for 1 year. And throughout my state officer year, we had to give a retiring address on stage, and we had to do multiple public speaking events. We were constantly talking. So you need to show them that you do have some public speaking skills, that you're able to come up with things off the top of your head, but that you also are able to memorize information. So they're going to test you throughout this entire time. They're going to test you through different rounds of what you can do. And in order to develop public speaking skills, you need to be involved in as many public speaking events as possible. Even things that aren't FFA related, get up in front of your class and talk and say things and volunteer for stuff all throughout high school to prepare you to become a state officer later. Because everything that you do, every time that you get up in front of people, every time that you speak in front of people, it's going to help you. You need to practice in that environment. Be in that environment that would be so similar to you actually standing in front of a group of nominating committee or one-on-one. Make sure that you time your questions. Make sure that you practice memorizing different things. Make sure that you practice answering questions about yourself. You've got to practice in that same environment so you kind of get the feeling, like you get a little nervous or you get a little stressed out. You being in that environment and putting yourself in that environment and practicing that way helps you mentally prepare yourself for state office or district office or area office or your local FFA chapter office. It will help you so much by just putting yourself in that environment and practicing in that environment and studying in that environment. Mimic the environment that you're going to be in and find out what that environment is so you can be prepared.